a lot of people has experienced the art world as a little bit of competition. Maybe at least the competitiveness of the art world has somehow affected them. How has your experience in that regard in the art world?
How has my experience with the competitiveness of the art
Yeah.
world affected me?
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I guess there's artists that work along similar themes and similar lines, and they make work that could be classified in similar ways. I fit into a group of that. Everybody does, right? There's no artist that's coming out that is making something that can't be classified some way.
It's called unclassified class.
Okay, fine, right. And I don't know who those people are, and good luck for them. But I don't. I'm not holding out a lot of hope. Although, of course, maybe they're going to be the ones that hit it because they're so far out there that there's such an interest because it's so weird, and maybe that's smart. Um, so in terms of the competition of, let's say, the small group that I'm in, right, which is, I mean, who knows, that could be like 12,000 artists, right, that are making work like I'm making work, and we're all similarly grouped into this one term or whatever it is, one class of artists. There's competition there, but I think the beauty of art and the beauty of artists is that it's not like we all have MBAs and we're all trying to replicate a product that somebody else is making. There are people that are going to do that in the art world, but it's such a small group that it's not that much of a worry because everybody's still, even if we're all making similar work, it's all still unique and it's all going in its own path. And even if you're aware of the other work, you're making sure you're not making that work, but it still helps you and it still informs your work, which I think is a good thing. And it's the artist isn't just trying to um, just become commercially successful and getting as much press as they can. I'm sure everybody would love that. Um, but that's not the sole concern of the artist, as opposed to, let's say, an entertainer or a singer, which is, you can sing at home and entertain yourself at home, and it's just not. I mean, that's not really. You're not going to really get enough out of that. An artist doesn't necessarily need as much of an audience. I don't think. I think a couple people could be a great audience. I mean, I think it depends on the artist. Um, so I guess it's competition, but I don't think of it as competition so much. I think of it as, I mean, some people are way more successful than I am, but not big time, um, and working in a similar vein. But ultimately, that's good for me, because it's still like they're trailblazing with their work and they're informing everybody in their wake about their kind of work that I fit into, and all these other thousands of artists that are making work similar also fit into. And so, in that way, I mean, maybe in a way it's supply side economics, and we're getting all the droppings that fall down. I mean, okay, that's fine. I mean, everybody's susceptible to that. It's like Damien Hirst is following the path of much bigger artists before him. I mean, maybe he's making more than they were making at his age, but they made that possible, and he certainly knows that. And he doesn't know what in 10 years, who knows, with him or Jeff Koons or any of these people. I mean, how big they'll be, or in 150 years. And certainly they're probably thinking about that legacy too. Once you get to that level, I think you're thinking about your legacy, just like a president would or a senator would. You're thinking what beyond, this year or the next 5 years. Again, that's success too, right? And people discovered much later, posthumously even. Yeah, it's competition. I mean, if I see work that it hurts me inside to think I didn't make that first, I mean, that's a level of competition I can relate to, and that would be painful. And so I try to make sure I'm going to make the work that I want to make so that I don't get to that point. And when I make work and I think, nah, this isn't so great, which, is so often, right? At least I think, man, if I saw this and it was successful and somebody else was doing it and they, people loved it, then I would hate that I didn't make it.
Right.
But if I make it and it doesn't, there's no traction, I don't think it's that great, nobody thinks it's really that worthwhile, it's out of my system and it's good.
Right, right, right. Good. I like the way you have a positive take on many of these things, and I think it's healthy and it helps going.